What's up, everybody, and welcome to Enters the Lab. We gotta go ahead and get our pre-show in before next week's draft. So come on in as we talk about some of these rumors, some of these players that are supposed to be falling down these draft boards, the last minute what our team needs, and some sleepers that we probably can be seeing going to the first or second round. So come join us in tonight. Welcome to Enters the Lab. What's up, Henry? What is up?
Lady E, what's going on? What's going on?
Nothing. Excuse me, y'all. I didn't get pretty for this. Okay, I'm going somewhere after this. Okay,
You didn't get pretty for us?
I didn't get pretty for y'all. No, I'm playing. Nah. I got a little pretty for y'all. A little pretty for y'all. Y'all know it's my her. It's the her time. It's the her time. Y'all already knows. But yes. But no, I'm going somewhere later on tonight. Get my little weekend on. Cause
Oh, you starting early Thursday? Yeah, I want to be
I
able to
got
walk up
to. You
too.
got. You got to. It's about that time. It's getting hot outside. It's sundress season. Rooftops are opening, and I'm trying to get out there for everybody and their kid brother start messing them up. So,
Mm, mm. Say
I seen
hello
that
to
they.
everybody on the patio for me.
Oh, you said a patio.
I said, tell everybody hello on the patio for me.
I got you, but I seen they was riding the four wheelers in Detroit. Y'all ready for next week?
Man, 1 week away, man. 1 week away. The weather hopefully has kind of, finally broken here. It's warming up. So, folks are definitely eagerly awaiting everybody who's going to descend on the city next weekend. Man, I'm mock draft out. I'm tired of talking about, what I'm saying, who we need to get, who somebody else team need to get. So I'm just ready for this to happen, man. I can't wait.
Nah, me too. Cause I think as Falcon fans, I think everybody is starting to come down and settle down. That hey, we tired. Just pick us
It's Kirk.
somebody. Just
It's Kirk, baby.
okay. We ain't gonna talk about
Kirk
TJ. No,
Cousins, baby. Kirk Cole. Let's go.
we are not. We are not. But let's go ahead and jump in. You already know with the draft going on next week, we already got the infamous who is finna slide down the board because they didn't got in trouble because some late news then popped up about these players. So let's go ahead and dive in. First up, let me jump in this one really quick. Because first of all, NFL, y'all are not finna come from my boy AD Mitchell. AD
Mm,
Mitchell is not a person that's not hard to work with. Trust me.
mm.
Kirby was all praise for AD Mitchell. Okay. And then y'all try to blame that on that boy's diabetes. Don't do
On
that.
his sugar.
On his sugar.
On his
Don't
sugar.
do that. Don't do that, okay? Players have played. As we know, Mark Andrews takes his insulin over there on the sideline. This
Mm.
man ain't hard or difficult. This is to me, and it feels like to me somebody wants him, so they doing this because Georgia ain't never said nothing like that. So don't put Georgia in there because Georgia ain't never said nothing
They
like
said
that.
he was a problem. If he didn't take the medicine, he was a problem. He was difficult. He was abusive.
But see, the thing
That's
about it
crazy.
is, it's funny that this is coming out right before because again when they go through the combine you have all the medicals, so I'm not understanding why that wasn't discussed or why we didn't hear about that back in February, March. Now we're hearing about it a week before the draft. As we know, when
Smoke
stuff like
screen.
that come out, somebody trying to grab him. Somebody gonna grab him. He's still a first round talent. He is not difficult to work with. I hate that for him because he's the most sweetest person that you can ever meet, that you can ever be around.
Mm.
And I'm just like, look here, bro. Look, y'all got the wrong one. Y'all got the wrong one. Don't do my AD like that. Not
They say he
AD.
get. They say keep the Snickers around. If not, he might get hangry.
You know what? What's up, DT? Just to throw you in a little bit, we just talking about some of the latest rumors that have been going on. The infamous is getting close to the draft, so let's throw some people underneath the bus. So, what is your thoughts on the AD Mitchell situation?
Actually, I have not heard anything about AD Mitchell. I've been kind of off Twitter past couple days due to work, so y'all can chime me in so I can My
Well, supposedly he's hard to work with because of his diabetes. When his sugar gets low, he's a hard
Sugar.
person to work with. And supposedly Georgia and Texas said this.
He was a problem at both schools when the sugar wasn't right. They said abrasive.
Abrasive. He doesn't pay attention into meetings. He's
Mm,
rude.
mm,
oh, okay. So them saying that and talking about a medical thing that's something he can't control. So, like this around this time, this is where a lot of the guys we see that have been highly touted during the draft process by a couple media members or local guys that understand these guys. This is where they have these weird stories come out of nowhere, and this is where some of the guys they kind of drop or just the slander the name. So I don't know how true it is. I know you definitely have watched his time at Georgia, and then we also watched him at Texas. Now we watched him on football field. Now there's some conversation about him off the field. That's definitely where these guys have to dig deep and check out what are some things that they do off the field that could benefit a team or could hinder a team. So I don't know how true this is, but it's incredible, whole crazy. But I don't know, man. I just think this is lion season. This
Does
is
this
really
does
No,
this does this affect your evaluation of him? Does this, I know that we don't really know, saying very much of the the back end story, but
I'm I'm
would
gonna say
would
this.
this affect you either
No,
way in terms of your evaluation of
no,
him? Oh,
because literally, I'm gonna tell y'all this. The reason why he left Georgia, and well, let me step back. Us as Georgia fans, we're very connected to the program. A lot of people have people that's on the inside of different things like this. I'll be honest with you. This has never came out about AD Mitchell. Like we knew this man was transferring to Texas before while he was playing in the national championship. We knew that he was gone. After the Natty, we knew AD was gone. So this has never came out, and the main reason why he went back to and transferred to Texas was because of his daughter. Do that sound like somebody with character issues, that have issues that like somebody having a sugar rush is not going to cause them to be
mm,
angry? That's going to cause them to be elusive, delusional if their
mm,
sugar gets too low. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that somebody is has character issues because their sugar is low. Like,
mm.
let's be for real here. Let's be for real here.
All I know is this, man. If the board fall the right way, Mr. AD Mitchell, man, listen, 6'4", 200 plus, 4'3". Hey man, listen, we might have a spot for you here, man. And listen, man, we can help you regulate, what I'm saying, your sugars if need be. We got, what I'm saying, places that if you need to cut your sugar out, we got vegan options for you. You know what I'm saying? If you
I
need to
mean,
have more vegan,
there's gonna be somebody that's gonna be right there. Hey, come on, gotta check it, gotta check
it's
it. There's gonna
crazy.
be
But all I
somebody
know
right
is somebody probably want them and they trying to get them to fall to them.
there.
And all I'm
Exactly.
saying is this,
yeah.
man. If the board falls the wrong way, come to Detroit, man. We got you, man. We won't do you like this, man. We won't do you like this, man. We won't be like the executive
Stays
producers all
away
up
from
in
the
your
Cowboys.
videos. You know what I'm saying? We let you live. You know what I'm saying?
As long as he stay away from the Cowboys, I'm fine. And the
Mm,
Saints.
That I
Cowboys and the Saints.
mm.
Cowboys and the Saints. As long as he stay away from them two teams, I am good. He can go wherever he wants.
Now, what do you guys think about the big fella? The big fella who got, caught up with the DUI, Tavondre Sweat. He was considered, universally as like a top 50, pick in this year's draft. I'm seeing him kind of, definitely fall down into mocks. You really can't count on those, but I'm seeing
yeah.
him definitely falling into that late third, early fourth round area. What do you think about, I'm saying, his situation?
Well, DT haven't been on. So I'm gonna say this. I feel like he's fallen into what we call a yearly thing with these athletes. We always get one or two that get in trouble for either a DUI, speeding, sometimes drugs,
Mm,
sometimes, but it's always the DUI that we always see right before the draft. So, is he gonna slide? Definitely. He's really gonna slide. I mean, I'll be honest with you, with the whole Ruggs situation, driving while intoxicated and actually killing somebody, the league is not playing about this drinking and driving. They're really not. And that can turn a lot of the owners and, these coaches off, because you need to have something in place. Because if he's doing it while he's not even with a team, how are we going to know that you're not going to do it with a team, as we see with Rashid Rice, as we've seen with that little situation going on? So again, this is not a good time to be having those type of issues when the league is really trying to do a lot of PR to cover up these DUI situations. So is he gonna fall? Yes, he's definitely for sure gonna fall. I mean, I don't want to wish this upon him. I hope he stays in the first round. If not, he's definitely gonna fall into the second round because of that. That nobody don't want to pay first round talent, and they, again, like I said, the Rug situation, it sets a lot of owners off when it comes down to that. So yeah.
Ruggs, more recently, Rashid Rice.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm still slightly titillated by the talent a little bit here. And again, this is a situation where, again, I don't know the background on the kid. If this was a situation where this was seemingly a one-off for him, if he hadn't had any kind of record of any issues before this incident, would you take him off your board?
I don't think anybody's going to take them completely off their board, but I feel like if they can get talent that's higher than him in that same positional group, I feel like they're going to go with that one first over that. Like, because again, I know right now his agent is doing major PR work, major PR work to try to make sure that he stays within the first round. But that's still not going to persuade, especially when you have an ongoing case with Rashid right now. With that, even though he didn't kill nobody, it's the fact that he has injuries and now there's a lawsuit against him for it, and then it's drugs involved as well. So I don't think a lot of teams are going to be willing to take that first round grade for the pay over it. Like, if he falls to the second and he's there for us, we can grab him and pay him something different and make him be on the program, kind of how like they did Tyrann Matthews.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything that's been said. So I don't think it's the biggest knock on draft stock. It is something, definitely we have noticed past couple of years that drinking and driving while intoxicated has become a big incident around the league lately. We've seen some of the things that have happened. Some people have lost their careers already to these type of situations. And Tiandre Sweat, for him to have a DUI a couple of weeks for the draft, it just doesn't look good for representation of what he wants to do, want to be in the NFL. So that's definitely something that NFL teams, I don't think it's going to take them off entirely off the board. It's definitely something that these NFL scouts and executives want to keep an eye on when he comes to the NFL. Make sure he understands what needs to be done to, keep his job. And, kind of surprised that, he drinking all that. He ain't breaking no sweat.
No. Oh. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I hate to say it, you know what I'm saying, again, I'm happy that no one was hurt, or anything. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. He gets around that 75, 80 area, and it's hard to find another player with that, with his type of upside there. So I think somebody is going to probably take a chance on him. Maybe, I'm saying late second, early third. If he falls to the fourth round, I think at that point he becomes a tremendous value for someone, because again, you're talking about a possibly day 3 pick with day 1 talent and upside. And again, you can build in those type of incentives into the contract to say, if you do have those issues with him off the field, possibly some of your guaranteed money can be taken back and things of that nature. So going to be interesting to see how all those situations kind of work out. Last but not least, let's talk about this Brandon Ayuk deal, man. We've been hearing about him possibly being on the trading block. I've been hearing a couple of different teams involved, possibly Pittsburgh. Also, I heard Washington may possibly have a interest in him. Atlanta, do you guys have an interest in getting
we good? We broke right now.
Y'all broke?
We robbing Peter to pay Paul right now.
What you mean?
Yeah, we spent some money, some digs on Mr. Kirko
Oh
chains.
yeah, that's right.
There
That's
go
right.
change. There go
That's right. That's
change.
right.
We spent the
There
money
go
on some Kirko
change.
chains. So yeah, I don't think that would be feasible. And I don't think right now with this new regime, I don't think they are willing to give up draft capital, a lot of draft capital for that, honestly. So I think we're fine where we are when it comes down to those trades. Now I'm not gonna say that we probably won't do some trades within the draft, but for a trade for a player, I don't think that they're in that market for that. Would be a nice pickup, but I don't think that, because I mean we could have did some things and got some players in the off season, but yeah, this right here kind
Mm-hmm.
of was going like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, for Washington's standpoint, I think it's more of a fantasy in terms of the fan base that wants IU. I'm not saying we wouldn't want IU. He definitely is one of the better receivers in the league, but a lot of people have a problem with um, paying another wide receiver on a team with another pay wide receiver. Me personally, I don't care. You're talking about investing, get a guy that can play instantly, and Terry is good. He's very consistent. You get another guy that can take away coverages, and you make a great situation for wherever quarterback you draft, and you draft a guy like obviously Jada Daniels, who played with Brandon in Arizona State. It's a match made in heaven. So now for those who watch the Traffic Dive podcast, Adam Schefter was up there. He did say there has been no word about Brandon IU to Washington due to the fact that Adam Peters is not a general manager, but that doesn't mean something can come up. So
Mm-hmm.
I think right now is no word or no weight to it about IU to DC, but the NFL is an unexpected lead, so we'll see what happens with IU. Me personally, I think he's going to get his contract with the 49ers, but I did hear some things about the Steelers definitely were heavily interested in trying to acquire his talents.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. Pittsburgh, even when you look at a team possibly like a Buffalo, those are very, very interesting destinations for him. I think that San Francisco definitely would like to re-sign him, but you got to start looking at their cap situation. They're paying a CMC, they're paying a Kittle, they're paying some of these other guys. Luckily, right now that Purdy is coming in for the low, so they don't
Yeah.
have to pay him. But I think it's going to be hard to pay Debo, to pay Ayuk and some of those other players, a couple of guys on the defensive side of the football, and
Mhm.
for everybody to get their piece of the pie. I just think it's going to be tough. This is a unique problem for them. I think if it was easier, they would have, have signed them already. But I think this is a situation where they have to kind of evaluate, who's important, who's not, who's expendable, and who's not. And it's going to be interesting to see if they trade him, where he goes, and what type of trade compensation comes into play. So I know some folks out there thinking that he may fetch a first round pick. And I think that would be very, very heavy. I'm saying the price to pay, especially in this draft, depending on who it is. We're talking about a later round pick, somebody like a Kansas City or a Buffalo. I can see that definitely, but some of those guys who may be a little higher in the pecking order in the draft, I don't know if they spend the first round pick on him this year, maybe a future first, or we look and see something like Stephon Diggs, where he was traded for a future second round pick. So some of these future picks are really, really getting into play. We saw Hassan Reddick traded for conditional second and third round pick in 2026, I believe. So maybe somebody can get off, can get him off their hands for a conditional future pick.
And don't forget, guys, when Snoogle was up here on the NFL free agency edition of the podcast, he did mention a possibility scenario that maybe next year could be talks about letting Debo Samuels probably out of that contract some shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely something we need to consider as
Mm-hmm.
time comes along.
Yeah, I mean, I like what Mike says. The 49ers do have the best cap guy. What I'm gonna say is, I'll say that he comes second to the Saints because the Saints be playing with monopoly money. So, yes, I do agree with that. I do agree that they're gonna find a way to keep him. I don't know with the chatter if it was true that he's unhappy with the 49ers. That's just a part to me that's gonna play with that. But I do agree. Um, Let's see. The Eagles are playing 2 wide receivers, 25 plus mil. Washington could consider they have the cap space. I mean, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, like I said, if anything, I agree with Henry. I think Henry, you said the Steelers and Washington probably be if it is true that he's on the chopping block, that those two spots might be the better spots for him as far as like the cap.
I said Buffalo.
You
See
said
Washington. I'm gonna
Buffalo,
tell
bro.
you.
Why are we bringing up Buffalo?
Well,
They're
I'm just
broke.
saying. I mean, I'm just talking about Atlanta in terms of landing places, but I'm gonna
Oh,
tell
okay.
you that I think Washington would be a nice place, but I don't know if a lot of folks want him in Washington. I think they're kind of torn between: do we want to try to win now? Do we want to kind of do this kind of a take it step by step approach? And I think that for me personally, he's a young player who's familiar with the GM. Eventually, you want to get young players that you have to pay. That's eventually where you want to get your talent level to be, in my opinion. So if you have somebody who is there, who you can pay now, to me, it kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But I'm of the thought process that I think a team like Washington, with the moves that they've made and the picks that they have in the draft and the money that they have available to them, they are in a unique situation where they can possibly compete for a playoff spot right now. I don't think everybody buys into that right now. They like, yeah, if it happens, cool. But really, we see 5 to 6 wins. Let's be, what I'm saying, a little bit better, and then let's reevaluate after this situation, after this year, which is cool. And it is a deep wide receiver draft, and I do see, definitely going into the draft and trying to draft one and find one. But the question mark is, do you come out of there with a Brandon Ayuk type talent, or do you come out of there with someone who's lesser? That is the choice. It's not like all of them are going to be Brandon Ayuk talent. So it's a very, very interesting spot. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. From my perspective, hey Washington, it's okay to want nice things. I got 100 million, and I got a bunch of picks. Y'all can go a lot of different ways, man. And it's okay to spend a little money now. But if y'all say you want a little bit more measured type of, approach, that's cool too. But I ain't mad at an IU if IU comes over there for a third or fourth round or second round pick, late second round pick, because who knows if you get that type of talent. You know what I'm saying? Let's not. I don't want to throw no shot because I still believe in the player. But do you feel like Jahan Dotson is a Brandon Ayuk type player? If not, that's a rhetorical. I don't.
Oh, okay. So like I was gonna say, like, hold on.
It's just rhetorical. What I'm saying is, you can very well get that type of caliber player with the first round pick or a second round pick. So it's no guarantee that you're going to get a guy of that ilk with one of those picks. So that's the trade-off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, like I said, for me, it's just all about, like, is he really unhappy in the 49ers? Because we have seen it. Like Mike said earlier, we seen that Debo was saying the same thing, and we went through the same thing with Debo, and they re-signed Debo. So how much can we really say that they're willing to keep him or he's willing to stay?
I don't know. I don't know anything about him, how he personally feels, but I think a lot of folks feel like, listen, I want to be paid. This is the time for me to be paid. So really, that's the only way to make me happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, deal with me like you dealt with CMC or Trent Williams or whoever else is there. Deal with me the same way. When that time came up, sound like, I'm saying, everybody didn't have to wait. Well, Debo, there was some word about him, being a little bit upset as well. But man, it's gonna be hard to pay everybody. But at the same time, come to the table and talk, talk to me nice. Tell me some numbers that, you know what I'm saying, can even make me even possibly be willing to work with you in some sort. So it sounds like to me, none of that is really going on. Maybe the numbers that they've talked about aren't, I'm saying, anywhere. He feels disrespected by. So, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. We'll see. Again, as the draft gets closer and everything, we'll kind of see exactly what everything is. Now, let's get to our teams. This is, I know, Henry, you said you mock draft out. DT, I know you definitely for sure mock draft out. I literally look at folks and go, look, don't ask me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting to that point. We're a week away as of today for that draft that's happening and it's cold in the D.
Oh, it's
Now,
warm, baby. It's warm. It's
I
warm.
ain't
Weather
gonna
done
call it
broke.
the dirty D.
Don't
I ain't gonna,
discourage them. Don't discourage them. Come on. We need every dollar, every cent. Come on.
look, I'm not gonna call it the dirty D because I think my
No,
Dallas people
don't
get
do us like that.
mad. Look,
Don't
I
do us
say,
like
I
that.
don't think my Dallas people would like that. But no,
Check it
let's
out on Tubi though. The Dirty D. Check it out on Tubi. This is a Tubi club. Maybe we get sponsored. Maybe we get sponsored.
maybe you can finally. But no, we're gonna start off with Washington. We know y'all need a QB. It's obvious, but who else? Who else are y'all looking at? Like, what is y'all plan that you're kind of seeing that every what you're kind of thinking that the team is going through by some of the interviews the coaches has done, GMs have done, whatever little information has come out. Like, what do y'all think that y'all are going?
Yeah, so obviously Adam Peters comes in from the 49ers, and the 49ers have a formula that you kind of see around with certain teams. You saw with Houston last year, sign about 20 plus free agents to shore up some of the things on the offense and defensive side of the ball, get some guys to play and build through the draft. And for Washington, obviously we know there are definitely some holes, and the major holes are at majority of the premium positions, obviously quarterback. So we're going to exclude quarterback right now, but obviously left tackle and possibly right tackle could get addressed in this draft as well. Edge rusher, I know that's been kind of a growing conversation within the Washington community. They signed 3 edge rushers. Dorrance Armstrong, he's kind of the younger guy from that Dallas defense. Didn't really play as a starter, but definitely has some high production with 7 to 8 sack seasons. Dante Fowler, he always follows Dan Quinn around. And then you got Khalil Farrell, the former first-round pick, who's more of a first and second down defender in terms of stopping the run. So obviously Washington really doesn't have that number one guy on the outside to go with Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen on the inside to rush the passer. So that's definitely a spot to be looked at. And obviously, I would say corner. Look, I understand we drafted Emmanuel Forbes, Quan Martin, and we signed a couple of guys on 1-year deals, but I still think, with how deep this draft is with the offensive line, wide receivers, and the quarterbacks are going to be possibly going in the first round, you got a lot of these corners that could fall in the second, and it'd be a blessing for a lot of these teams. And I think Washington needs to invest in the corner, whether it's on day 2 or day 3. And there's a couple of guys that I've been watching the past couple of weeks that fits what Dan Quinn wants in that aggressive man-to-man coverage, getting turnovers and turning them into points. That's the style of defense that Dan Quinn and Joe Witt want. So I basically, outside of quarterback, you're looking at the 3 premium positions at tackle, defensive end, and getting a corner on the outside for defense. And honorable mention, I would definitely say wide receiver, because losing Curtis Samuel is definitely a big deal, because now you're looking at outside of Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson, you have De'Ami Brown, Jamison Crowder, and Zacchaeus. So I think they're definitely, with how deep this class is, I don't think they're going to be very pressed to try to draft one, but if there's a guy that they love, they're going to try to get a wide receiver in this room for Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay. I can see that. Henry, I'm going to say my team for last. Cause
You say your team flies? Okay.
yeah, my team can go so many ways right now. So you at the bottom of the draft. We already know DC's at the top. We already know their main thing more than likely is gonna be QB, but y'all are at the bottom of the draft.
Yeah, it's a little different feel. It's a little different feel right now, picking 29th, man. Before, we kind of had to pick of our litter of kind of where we wanted to go, but now we got to kind of wait for the draft to come to us, maybe. For me, there's 2 positions of need on our team. I think cornerback is a spot that we have to shore up, especially after losing Cam Sutton to the offseason situation that we have. We did pick up Carlton Davis III. I think it's a solid pickup, and Amik Robertson to kind of help on the outside as well as in that slot. But again, though, Carlton Davis is on his last year of his deal, and Amik Robertson is on a 1-year deal. So some long-term stability is definitely needed at the cornerback spot. Upgrade the talent as well and create some quality depth is definitely a need there. And also, man, we got to find some type of pass rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson. We're going to take a stab at it with Marcus Davenport this year. Hopefully James Houston comes back healthy. But again, in this draft, I'm hoping that one of the big 3 fall to us somehow, some way. Dallas Turner. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta, y'all might not want to. Leatu Latu is another name that comes to mind, and Jared Verse. If one of those three, fingers crossed, can somehow fall to 29, I'll be forever grateful. Also, I'm looking big at the cornerbacks on the top four: Kenyon Mitchell, Terrian Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Nate Wiggins. Even though they say he a little light, Nate, man, we need you to get some, you know what I'm saying, some coney dogs, some corned beefs, some fries, you know what I'm saying? Get you some meat on them bones, man. Get up to at least 185 pounds, man. You know what I mean? So you could be,
True,
you know,
true.
play corner. Those are some guys that I definitely have our eyes on. And again, if the board falls, I don't want to say the wrong way, but just falls in a way that we're not able to get one of those elite defenders. I think a couple of wide receivers are definitely interesting to us. Brian Thomas Jr. is definitely interesting. AD Mitchell was definitely another interesting guy because we don't have that type of big body receiver. Both
Mm-hmm.
guys can take the top off the the defense as well. We've been waiting for JMO to kind of show him, kind of take that next step, and he did show improvement last year. But again, this is year 3. We got to kind of decide long term where he fits into the, the big scheme of things. And if he's not going to be one of those main targets in the offense, we got to look to kind of, upgrade that position. So I wouldn't be surprised to get a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds of this draft. A couple of names, like I said, AD Mitchell, Brian Thomas Jr. early on, Ricky Pearsall possibly, Xavier Liggett possibly in rounds 2 or 3. And a couple of names, man. Your boy, man, Javon Baker, man. I like that kid, man. From
Come on, man. Come on,
I like
man.
that kid, man. I don't even know if it's Central Florida or South Florida, but the guy, 6'1", 6'2", 200 plus pounds. He doesn't have a tremendous burst, but gets in and out of his cuts well, has great hands, can make the contested catch, man, can separate, solid route runner, and again, has that size to play on the outside for us and possibly be a bigger red zone target. So those are just a couple of guys, man, that I'm looking forward to, man. And hopefully Brad can make it happen. This one Brad do his best work, baby.
Oh Lord, him and Brad, him and
Yes,
Brad,
sir, Brad.
him and Brad. Now, for us, we're at the 8th spot. We're pretty good with that. I know somebody said they don't think Atlanta will go edge their first pick. I mean, to be honest with you, we can go a wide receiver. I have heard the wide receiver. I know half the fan base, well, 99.9% of the fan base is saying go that edge. They want Dallas Turner, Latu, even Jared Verse's name is being in there still. I know some fans want corner. Mitchell, I don't want to mess up his first name because I'm bad with names, but I know some people are saying that. Arnold is another one that some people were saying as well as far as the corners goes. Some people even say that they trade the pick back and get another pick and go build up something. So, I mean, we can go a lot. I feel like if we go wide receiver though, we need another wide receiver, but I don't feel like a high first round. I mean, don't get me wrong. Neighbors, even Rome, like they'll be good. They'll be good in our offense. It'll be hard not to pass them up, but I'm like right now, I really want this draft to be centered towards defense. I've been yelling defense for the past 3 years, and we missed out on some very good names as edges in the off season. Like if we would have got those edges, I promise you, I think we would have. I think this will be a different conversation. I think I will be inclined to say, hey, either corner or wide receiver. I'll be fine with that. But we missed out on some very good names as edges, and I think that that's where we need to stay and draft an edge. We need that. We really do. So again, we can go so many ways at number 8. I mean, even some people said if there's still some quarterbacks on the board that they like, if Penix hadn't got picked up, some people say go get Penix. So again, it's we're in a good spot. I feel like anybody that's in the top 10 is kind of in a good spot as far as where they can pick and which way they can go. I just feel like if they want wide receiver, trade back. Just trade back for me, please. If that's what y'all want to do, trade back, get extra picks so we can go get our edges.
Is there a wide receiver or two that you have your name that you have your eyes on outside of the big 3?
Outside of the big 3, honestly, I like AD Mitchell. That will be good for me, but my eye is really going to be set on Lab McConkey. I feel like that's who we
Mm,
really need to go after,
mm.
because again, he is one of those that he fits our system well. You know what I mean? He fits it very well. So I mean, hey, if we can get a big body wide receiver, I'm fine. With that, but outside of the big three, I mean, my eye is really set on that. I'm not even.
That don't sound bad when you look at Pitts in London out there. So
No.
Yes.
you might need somebody in the slot, a little quicker, smaller version to
Yeah,
kind of do something
exactly.
out there. Oh, that might work
I
out
mean,
for you.
and like, don't get me wrong. You want a big body too on the outside. You do. You want somebody on the opposite that's big body outside of Drake as well. But when you look at it, depending on how they want to use Pitts, you already kind of have that in a sense. I mean, it does not hurt to go get another one, but I'm like, I want somebody with that can run routes efficiently, effectively. He's elusive. He's fast. Give me that guy. The last time we had somebody similar to that was Taylor Gabriel. So again, I'm like, that's kind of where my eye is when it comes down to the wide receiver, to be honest with you. But again, it's at this point in time, it's whatever. Why are you smiling like this?
Because I got like 10 people texting me, why didn't you say tight end for the Commanders? So, for you Commanders fans also, we need a tight end as well because they signed Zach Ertz in
Mm,
offseason for a 1-year deal.
mm.
You got John Bates. He's more of a wide tight end. Cole Turner's still there, but I'm not banking on that. So, really, after Brock Bowers, that's where you have questions about who's tight end to the class. I see a lot of people say Ben Sinnott from Kansas State. Some people say Tavion Sanders, but me, in my opinion, I see him more as a big slot than an actual tight end. So, I mean, we'll see how to dress. I don't think they'll go extremely early. It could be some guys like Dallin Holker or Kay Stover or a guy I've been watching the past couple of weeks, Tanner McLaughlin from Arizona.
Mm. And just
Is this for the later rounds, right?
Later rounds, yes.
Okay.
Wait
Okay.
three.
and I see Mike saying that Atlanta may saying Mike Penix may land in Atlanta. So
Mm-hmm.
just let both of you guys know. I know Atlanta. What you got 38 in the second round, and Washington you got 36 and 40. If you guys want to come up for maybe a offensive tackle, if you guys want to come up for Michael Penix, get that fifth option. We're sitting there prominently at pick number 29. So a Taylor Guyton, a Jordan Morgan. Any of those guys, again, Penix, again, if you want to trade up for Lad, come on up to 29. You know what I'm saying? We're willing to do a little
Look,
bit.
Lad is if I put it to you like this, if the run on wide receivers is what they're saying it's gonna be, Lad could be a late round. He can definitely end up in KC. I can definitely see that. If there's some people that want to go wide receiver, if not, I do feel like Lad is a high second round pick, honestly. So yeah, it's gonna be up to what the Falcons do. I put it to you like this: wherever we go first round, I already know how this draft is gonna play out. Like dead serious. I already know how it's gonna play out. I mean, I want a lineman because Jake Matthews is not getting any younger. We're gonna have to replace a left tackle here pretty soon. So I even said, why not pick up somebody that's maybe he can play both positions. Maybe they can sit over here and switch it up, do that and have him train. But I mean, it just all depends right now. I feel like even when it comes down to Atlanta, I just feel like right now it's either fans are not gonna like it. I don't care. It's just gonna be good for the team. I just want us to win, to be honest with you. But fans are not gonna like it. I mean, I'm gonna be a little upset if we don't go edge, but I'm gonna be happy with what they pick. Because whatever is going to help Kirk, and that's my main concern too, is with him coming off that Achilles injury, being as old as he is, whatever is going to help him, that's fine with me if we go to offensive route. But I'd rather help him on the defensive route to at least not have my defense go 3 and out and you're back on the field when we're trying to help you heal in a sense. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to wait until next year either for an edge. I don't want to wait until next offseason for an edge. Like, give me my person now.
Yeah, I think for Washington, ESPN draft analyst Jordan Reed has said it for the past couple of weeks now. I think it's the worst kept secret that Washington definitely is considering trading back in the first round. Now, the spot is going to be the question, trying to get a tackle or probably an edge rusher or maybe whoever's the best player on the board, and acquire that 5th-year option as insurance to have some, move around options. So definitely could see Washington moving up in the first round on Thursday.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, Brad, man, he's looking for some picks, man. We don't have a pick between 73 and 164, man. So that's roughly 3 rounds. We need a couple picks in there. So come holler at us. Brad will work something out real nice, real swell for you.
No, it's funny. I'm a shout out. I think this is probably Lethal on this account right now, but shout out to my homegirl Lethal. It's all fun and games until we grab a punter at number 8. So that's how funny Atlanta is right now. That's how funny Atlanta is right now. And Mike, don't do that. Don't talk about. First of all, blame that on Washington's new head coach, Dan Quinn, drafting Beasley and not playing him in his natural born position. Don't do that. That wasn't our fault right there.
What position was that? Left out? What was he?
Left out. That's what it is. Left out. There we go. That's what it was. He didn't play him in his natural position, and I was left out. Like, cause don't blame that on us. Don't blame that on us. Like that 1 year was a fluke. It was a major fluke. I'm sorry. I don't care what that is. All right. So now that we have talked about this, let's get into some intriguing players. Let's get away from these teams and all of this, and let's start focusing on some of these guys that are out here. So let's start with DT, because I know y'all two are battling it in the chat. So let's start with DT. DT, you had it on me. Oh wow.
You ain't listening to them tonight.
Who are you looking at that can go in round 1 or 2? That's a mid to late round sleeper. Who are you looking at that could be a possible sleeper?
That is a good question. I'm gonna be honest. I think he's gonna be a little bit later. I think he's more of that fringe first round pick, but I think a guy like Tyler Guyton is definitely someone a lot of people have not been talking about. I seen names like Jordan Morgan. I seen Amarius Mims. I seen Fufaga. You seen all these guys, but Tyler Guyton is definitely someone that in that tackle class as well that has Pro Bowl potential. He's very athletic. It's something about, obviously, when you talk about some of the pedigrees, these schools like Oklahoma always produce good tackles, and this is definitely someone that when I've been doing our draft shows on Sunday, he's a guy that pops out on tape, transferring from TCU as well. So I think he's a sleeper, man. Now where he'll go will depend on the run on either the offensive tackles or the wide receivers, because if there's a large amount of runs on the tackles, he's definitely going to be someone like Washington could trade back up in the first round and try to snatch him.
Okay. Henry?
I'm going to go with this young man, Darius Robinson, man. I'm going to go with him.
How you going to steal my person?
Oh, that's nasty.
Stop stealing my person. Like, that's my sleeper.
I caught that.
I put him in the chat. I put him in the chat hours ago.
I was getting my hair done. I wasn't paying no attention.
I was fine.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, but yeah, young Darius, man, that's my guy, man. Got out of Missouri, man. He's played defensive end this past year. I think he's playing very, very physical, very, very physical guy. 6'5", 280, 290, 295 pounds. Didn't have the best combine this past year, but again, at his pro day, really picked up some of his numbers, picked up his the bench a little bit, picked up his 40 time. And again, I'm torn. I don't know if he's an interior guy or he can play this end. 8.5 sacks last year, so he was tremendously productive. 43 total tackles, 14 for loss. So he was active in the run game as well. A guy who I think can definitely be one of those fringe guys, late first round, early second round guys. If he's there at 29, maybe we take him. I feel more comfortable if we can trade back maybe to 36 with a team like Washington who need a tackle. And we give up and get us, pick number 78 or 100, something like that. And take them. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, or 38 to, Atlanta and get, one of their third round picks. So we open for business here. But Darius Robinson, big time player. And again, a local kid from right here in Southfield / Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, Henry just took mine.
I'm
Um,
sorry. I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. I got a
So
backup.
I do have a question about Robinson though. So you mentioned
Mm.
about his versatility on the
Mhm.
defensive line. So with that being said, do you think for the NFL, you think they're going to try to move him around more just like they did in college, or you think he's going to have an ideal spot? If he did have an ideal spot in the NFL, will he be an edge rusher or will he be playing defensive tackle?
So I'm gonna tell you that's the big question mark. I think if he was a little bit more defined in what he did, again, he's played on the edge 1 year, 1 year, and again produced
Mm.
43 tackles, 8.5 sacks, again in the SEC. So I think that's extremely promising. When he played inside, he was solid as well. I think he had 39 tackles and 3.5 sacks from the interior. So he's a guy who's been able to make plays wherever he's been lined up. I think he's going to be more so a strong side in. Again, we play mostly 4-man fronts, but we can do some things with the odd man fronts. He gives you that versatility to play. Again, as a fourth as a defensive end in the 4 or defensive end in the 3, or he can move inside when you want those 4-man fronts and get some pressure from the interior. I think he can play strong in. He looks like a guy like a I don't know, Ezekiel Ansah, Iggy Ansah, if you will, a guy who's very athletic, big player, can set the edge against the run and give you some push against the pass. So, but to your question, I think that's why we're seeing him kind of go up and down in terms of some of the drafting. We've seen him possibly go as high as 24, 25, but I've also seen him fall into the 30s or the 40s. So
This brother,
I'm a.
he went to
I,
Throwback Thursday. He said Ziggy Ansah.
oh Lord. I'm gonna tell you what game to watch. I hate to put my team out there, but where he really flashed and really showed, if you watched the Missouri game against Georgia, he went up against Mims and yeah, yeah.
he was
he
making it
like I
happen.
said,
And again, I've
he
seen
got
him
some pop.
again. He's played with his hand in the dirt. He's played as a kind of a stand-up in. He's done a lot of different
Mm-hmm.
things. So I just like the versatility and the violence that he plays with his hands. And again, it's still raw. We're not seeing a bunch of technical abilities here. This is kind of raw power, kind of raw strength. Again, what happens if he refines his technique a little bit, works on his hand placement a little bit, works on his get off on the line a little bit? Can he become that dominant double-digit pass rusher? We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, um, a sleeper to me. Um, since he took mine, luckily I have a backup, and I know y'all
Hmm.
gonna get tired of me talking about this, but
Is he from Georgia?
he's not a sleeper per se. Look, what you say, Henry?
Is he from Georgia?
He is. He is. He is. Y'all know.
What his
Y'all
name?
know.
What his name is? What his name is?
Javon Bullard.
Okay, I like Bullard. I like Bullard.
What?
Tell us
Why I say
about it.
that he's a sleep? Why I say that he's a sleeper one is because I didn't realize Mel Kiper had him as the number one safety. But as we all
Oh,
know, that this year's safety class is not all of that strong. But
Mhm.
looking at his highlights, yes, he's on the smaller side as far as that goes. You know what I mean? But he can run. He's fast. I mean, the thing is, his downhill speed is what really kind of got him where he was at in Georgia. He's a thumper. I like that about him because he doesn't do it. Yes, he is some plays where he takes bad angles. He doesn't really fully like commit to it as a whole, but overall, if you go back and look at his film at Georgia, he stands out on the tape. So, I think a lot of them have him as like literally a late second round, probably a third round pick. I do feel like he can probably sneak his way up into the mid to probably early second round. I mean, it just depends on what teams he impressed with that, but I feel like he is a sleeper, especially for him to be Mills Kiper is like number one safety for this draft class. Yeah, it seemed like something from his pro days. Probably from private workouts has kind of popped him up and kind of got a little chatter going on. So yeah, that is my sleeper. Yes, it was a Georgia Bulldog, but it's a Georgia Bulldog I haven't really talked about like that.
Okay, I like Bullard.
I like it. I like Bullet. But even though you stole my Darius Robertson, because I really be honest with you, somebody's gonna take that leap on him and get him in that late first round. Somebody's gonna take a leap on him. They really are. They're gonna
They're gonna
take
get a
a leap.
good player. They're gonna get a good player.
They really are. They really are. So that's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But as we get in, as we're kind of getting closer to the draft, as we're kind of getting things together for the draft, what are you guys? What team are you interested in to kind of see where they go, like how their whole draft, especially the way the offseason has played out for some of these teams, money situations, dire needs. What teams are you most interested to see where they go? DT, let's start with you because I know probably one of them's coming from your division.
Actually, no, it's not going to come from that. It's actually going to come from down the road. I'm going to say Baltimore. Look, Baltimore has lost a lot of guys on their defense, and we're looking at a lot of people talk about the Odell thing. He didn't really play up to the expectations that everybody had for him. So I'm looking to see how can they replace a lot of the defensive guys they lost after Mike McDonald takes the job in Seattle, and what can they do to add to this offense to get over the hump when they play teams like Kansas City and other teams in the AFC. Because let's face it, when last time we watched the Ravens, they were getting clamped. And Zay Flowers was really the only guy able to create any type of separation. I understand Mark Andrews was coming from injury, but they have a little nucleus with the 12 personnel they have. I would like to see them add a wide receiver, and I'm interested to see what can they do to retool this defense and try to win the AFC North with a Joe Burrow, with a Russell Wilson / Justin Fields, and most definitely what the Cleveland Browns are going to do on offense if Watson can play up far and that defense. So I'm interested to see what the Ravens are going to do on draft night.
Okay, Henry,
Man,
Hendo.
that's a loaded question, man. I'm interested in so many teams and what they do. I'm interested to
Name
see
them.
what Washington does with all their picks. I'm interested to see what Arizona does with all their picks. I think Arizona may have the most picks in the draft, 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and I think a couple in the third as well. Interested to see what they do. But Kansas City, again, the situation with Rashi Rice, the situation with them losing L'Jarius Sneed, how are they going to retool themselves and get ready for another run in the AFC? That's kind of intriguing to me. What does Buffalo do at the wide receiver spot, and also at some of the other spots that they have to kind of reload themselves? So I'm looking at the whole draft, man, taking it all in, looking at a bunch of teams and see what they do.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
did I say my division? I'm watching definitely what my division doing. Definitely.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely gonna be supposed to be watching your division. Definitely supposed to be doing that. Like what?
Does
Um,
JJ end up in Minnesota with JJ to JJ?
JJ.
for me, I honestly kind of want to see what the Cowboys do because I just want to
Hmm.
laugh. I do, but I do want to see
I
what
just
the
want to
cat
laugh.
because I just want to laugh. But no, I do want to see what the Cowboys do because to me they have a lot of dire holes to fix, and they really didn't make a lot of moves this off season to kind of address some of those holes. So they're ones that I want to see. I definitely want to see what the Giants do. I
Hmm.
want to see what the Giants do because a lot of fans are kind of wanting the QB. They're sitting there, but then now I'm hearing that they're getting a lot of offers for their spot. So I really want to see what the Giants are going to do with that, especially after losing Saquon. You got that question mark at quarterback. You lost your tight end. He a rapper now, so I really want to see because again, their defense is good
Did
too.
he
They got a
did he officially retire or what's going on? He waiting for
I don't think he's retired, but that rapper
he a
ain't good
rapper
either.
now.
That rapper ain't good either.
Yeah, like he's
Might as well
he's
put
a
30.
rapper now. So yeah. I definitely want to see what Arizona do with that. And then the one team that y'all probably are not paying attention, but I'm paying attention to, because it's just me. I just always find that one,
It's a
huh?
little bro.
No, it's not little bro. I don't care what they do. They gonna suck anyway.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
they are going to suck anyway. But it is coming from my division. I really kind of want to see what Tampa's gonna do.
Oh, that's a good one. Yep.
I want to see what Tampa is going to do because they lost some very strong pieces on their team as well. Um, so I kind of want to see. I know they got Baker and they signed him to another deal, but it's time for them still to go find them a quarterback. Who's to say they might find them a quarterback in a later round? They still have some defensive pieces that they got to pick up too. Still need another wide receiver on the other side of Mike Evans, in my opinion. So again, I kind of want to see. They're kind of one of those ones that are a little sneaky that you got to watch them because they too quiet for me. I don't like quiet teams. I try to tell y'all that about the Texans, what the Texans did. So that's one of them that I'm just kind of like, I got my eye on you, bro. Like y'all too quiet over there.
The Texans is a good one. I definitely want to see what they do. They got some very, very interesting picks. I think they have 42 and 59. And again, man, with what they've done over the offseason, Mixon, getting Diggs, they get Tank Dale back. Get a couple of very, very capable players at those picks.
That old
They're gonna
line.
be they're
Okay,
gonna be a very,
so
very live
I,
team.
I have a question about them. What are they going to do with Mechie?
What you
That
mean?
he's like wide receiver, like
What
four
you
or
mean?
five.
He gonna have to compete. What you mean? What they gonna do with him?
I mean, I mean,
Is he a
okay.
trade? Is he someone could trade for him?
How many years it's
That,
been?
and that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, that's that they got trade bait. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, are they gonna? Because again, I feel bad for him because he came into the league already with an ACL injury, so he didn't get to play. Then he turned around and he had the scare with leukemia and had to sit out because of that as well. So they never really got to use him. And I agree with Henry to compete him, but I feel like he's gonna be trade bait. I don't know if he fits the system because you know what I mean? If that kind of makes sense.
Well, the first for you to be trade bait, you got to have somebody who want to trade for you. For that's the first thing right there.
Somebody
You-
gonna be willing to
you-
take him if they need a wide. I mean, look at LeBron now. If they need a wide receiver, they can go get him. Bryce Young
Yeah.
knows
I
him.
don't know, man. It's a
Responsibility.
strong year for wide receivers, man. It's a very strong year for wide
That's true
receivers. I
too.
don't know.
I mean, but I don't feel like Houston gonna want much for him though. And then the thing about it is, the way I'm looking at it is, Bryce knows him. Mechie knows Bryce. That's a good connection over there. Why am I helping out little Bron now?
Oh,
Why
you
in the
trying to
heck
hook
am
up
I
Lil Bron? Sound like
And
that's what
then,
it sound like to me. You trying to hook up Lil Bron now? You
that?
trying to hook him up?
Can we cut that out? Like that was nasty work.
I don't know.
Very nasty work.
We'll
Fitz,
Let me
see.
put my bias hat
I'm
back
hoping that Mechie can at least have one, quality off season where he can come in and show his worth to either the Houston franchise or somebody else and play, and play in the off season and possibly build up on that trade value, if you will. Because to your point, they are down a couple of wide receivers. Now I don't believe they brought. I don't know if Noah Brown came back from was re-signed this year, so maybe there is a spot for him, but he's looking like wide receiver 4 or 5 there at the very least.
Yeah, they probably. I mean, but I mean, what was it? He only fractured. He fractured his leg, right? It wasn't an ACL injury. It was just a fracture,
oh,
right?
Noah Brown's still on Texas.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Okay. So you're
That's
right. He
one.
about 4 or 5. So do they have a? I know they don't have an official depth chart, but where's Mechie on that chart?
I will have to go to Arslan and check that out real quick.
So, yeah,
Because
you don't
I
have
feel.
to,
I mean,
you don't have to compete. You don't have to compete, baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for the compete. I just don't think that he fits in the direction that they're going. Probably beforehand, but
Did
now
that injury knock him to like day 3? Did it knock him to day 3?
no. I think he still got
I think he was
drafted
a maybe
first
third. I think he
round.
was a third round pick, I believe.
Was
Maybe he was
he?
a third. third or fourth round pick.
I thought. Wait, hold on.
Not
I
Mitch.
thought he or did he? I thought he went to. Hold on. I thought he was still early even with the injury because I know J-Mo went to Detroit first, and then Mechie got picked up.
That's interesting. Man, they got him 1, 2, 3, 4. He wide receiver 5, and you still got Robert Woods. Robert Woods is still on the team, so that's
Again, trade bait.
Looking
I'm
yeah.
calling
tough.
trade bait
Looking
for that
tough. It's looking tough.
because the thing, because like I said, I don't the way if you look at the way the Texans wide receiver core is kind of set up now, and if you remember how Mechie plays, tell me where he fits in there. I just don't. I just really just don't see him fitting in the direction that they're going right now.
They drafted him in the second round, number
Yeah,
44.
Okay,
yeah. I see it. So he's a second round pick. So yeah, I mean, shoot, could be some intrigue around here. I mean, New England just need talent overall. Some help on the outside.
yeah.
Um, you said
Maybe,
Carolina,
maybe Buffalo. I mean, not Buffalo. Maybe Baltimore trade for him. They love Alabama players. Maybe they'll, you know what
Baltimore.
I'm saying?
They like I said, I feel like they're going to give him a chance, see what he does in mini camp, and then get him over there in training camp. But I feel like before the season, he's gone. I don't think that they keep
That's
him.
that's a lot of.
And let's not forget this is not the staff who drafted him. So
Exactly.
you
That
know,
and that's why I said I don't feel like he fits in the direction that they're going. Probably in the previous staff he fits, but not in this one.
Another thing too is look at also the tight ends and running back. You got Joe Mixon who's able to catch out the backfield, Dalton
Mm-hmm.
Schultz, and you have Brevin Jordan who came around late. So CJ Stroud got a lot of weapons, but not everybody gonna get the ball. That's just a fine line about it, especially you got Stephon Diggs.
and to Mike Patton's point, everybody not gonna make it, as they say. Hallelujah! Everybody not gonna make it to the end of the
They
road.
not.
That's
And I mean,
just what it is.
you put in Stephon Diggs there. You got Collins, you got Dale, you got Brown, then you got Robert Woods, and then you got Mechie. That's a tough wide. And then that's not to even say if they're not even going to add a rookie in this
Yeah,
draft class.
and to this point, I can see Woods not being a guy to make their team because if he's not going to be a top 3 or 4 receiver, I don't see Robert Woods playing special teams at all. Mechie possibly could be a returner, possibly a gunner on one of your special teams, special teams units. So I could definitely see Robert Woods probably coming to the end of the road there in Houston. But we'll see, man.
Do you
We'll
think
see.
it's
We got a long off season in front of us, baby. The Super Bowl of the off season is here, though, baby.
do
Yes,
you think
sir.
it's a possibility that they could release him like in June so they give him an opportunity to sign with some teams, give him a chance to test the market after like June, after the draft? I think that makes a little bit more sense.
I mean, that's if they draft a wide receiver. I feel like this. If they draft a wide receiver in one of those rounds and they get it, he's out the door. I feel like he's out the door. I feel like they're going to give Mechie a chance to see if he fits. But I don't think that if they don't get if Mechie makes the team, I feel like by the middle of the season that he might be gone.
Okay.
Not for
Yeah.
long, baby. NFL, not for long.
It's not. It's not. I mean, and the thing about it is, I feel bad for him because he just had a case of bad luck, and we've seen that before. We've seen a case where some players just got that case of bad luck, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's him. That's him. But it's a team that's going to be able to use him. I just don't think that the Texans are in the direction of he's pretty much where they want to go as far as their wide receiver group goes.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, DT, I see you got a board up here.
I did, but I think we should save that for next week. Let's save that for next week, man.
Okay. Well,
We can do that.
Let's cook something up next week.
Is that going to be the last and final mock of the year?
It's gonna be the last final night. We're gonna spice it up.
We gonna spice it up.
Oh, yeah,
We gonna spice it up. Okay, that's fine with me. We can look. Hold on. How do you do it?
Yeah, like that.
Hey. Go sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. Well, sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. I'm just all right. But no, like sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. But no. All right, y'all. It is coming up there to the top of the hour. Again, next week is the week. Okay. It is the
Be there,
week.
be square.
Like, make sure y'all go out there and support C. Henry's hometown of Detroit. If y'all are going out there to the draft, make sure y'all check out the locals, the black owned businesses and all of that. Please make sure y'all go give support back to Detroit. If y'all are stomping in the Big D,
Yes,
please
sir. Yes, sir.
support
Yes,
the
sir.
cities. That's one thing that we're all about, making sure we support the cities that the NFL is in, because it brings some good revenue, and Henry can sit over here and take this background down finally.
That's right. That's right. That's right, baby. Been rocking it strong and repping strong. Repping strong for the city. And listen here, I want y'all to make sure that all y'all hood passes are validated. Do not be trying to go outside your validated zone, because if you do, it could be trouble for you. Stay within your validation zone. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, please don't try to go venture into the hood just because you from the hood in your city. Okay,
It's not the
do
zoo.
that.
It's not a great place to visit. It's not the zoo. You know what I'm saying? Have
Right.
your hood validations validated. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes. It ain't like Houston. You ain't got to check in, but don't go check in. Get it? Get it? Okay, good.
You better know who you are. You might have to. Don't let Tim roll up on you.
Exactly. Just pop them little four wheelers, down over there, and we good to go.
Come
But
on,
after
we
that,
looking forward to everybody, man, coming here, man. Hopefully the weather holds up. They're doing a great job downtown, man, in terms of the build up and everything. So all the infrastructure's in place. I've been trying to post something every week talking about different places and different events that'll be going on down here. So definitely, man, if you're coming out, man, definitely enjoy the city, enjoy the sights, enjoy the sounds. A lot of events that'll be going on that'll be sponsored by the NFL and associated with the draft, but there's a lot of other things going on. Baseball will be popping. Man, my Red Wings didn't make the playoffs, so no NHL playoffs, but it'll be a lot of things going on downtown. So, man, welcome to all those folks who are coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We in that thing. All right, y'all. Catch us next week. Cause we got some mockery going on. We got some things going on.
Oh, we live. We live next week. Y'all gonna see our instant reactions to the picks. Y'all gonna see chaos. Y'all gonna see spaces. It's gonna be crazy next Thursday. I'm telling you right now. I'm lit.
Hold on. In the famous words of Crime Mob, nuck if you buck. That's what it's gonna be. Nuck if you buck. Hold on. Mike said he said, I wonder who's coming out the plane playing. It's so cold in the day.
We're not putting that in the atmosphere. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be sunny. It's gonna be sunny. I'm trying to get. Hey, listen. I'm hoping for sundress weather. Y'all make sure y'all heels and Achilles are greased, please. Hello.
I quit with that. I really do. All right, DT, hit us with our exit. We'll holla at y'all.
Hey man, look, this is Enters the Lab podcast. Next week is about to be crazy. Please tune in. Please keep up with us on our Twitters. We have spaces, and look, I'm tired of talking about mocks. I'm tired of draft. I'm just ready for pick number 2 to start. The draft's going to start at number 2. We pretty much know who's going number 1, but the draft starts at number 2. I need everybody to tune in and see everybody's reaction on this channel, on everywhere that you can find Red Zone and the Lab podcast. This is Enters the Lab podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media, and we're going to see y'all next week in Big D as we get ready finally for the 2024 NFL draft. Catch y'all next Thursday.